Are you a hungry wizard that wants to protect their sandwich? Do you want to keep the TSA's sticky fingers off your guns? Then this video is for you. Sandwiches and sidearms aside, a few things before we get into the actual video. One is that I take prayer requests. So if you guys have any need for prayer, put it in the comment section below. I love praying for you guys. If you'd like a more private setting to do so, your favorite libertarian on Instagram, just DM me there. The second thing is that I have a link tree. So if you guys want to help support me and the work that I'm doing on the channel, you can click on the link in the description or in the pinned comment below. It takes you to all my links on my link tree. There's exclusive discount codes for my viewers, as well as just links to take you to the sites that I do business with, that I trust, and that usually have a ton of sales going on. So you're either going to save money just from there being sales on the website, or you're going to save even more money with my discount codes. Thanks in advance for clicking on those links. That's awesome, and you're awesome. Now with no further ado, let's get into the actual video. I think that we've already known. I think that we've already known. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've already known. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. And now it's time for everyone's favorite portion of the video. What's in the box? This is the portion of the video where I show you what's in the box. Let's open it up and see, shall we? Plastic bag. We have a sleeve here telling you a little bit about it and a few things on how to open it, because that's kind of important because this is locked when you get it. There is a default code to open this. It's 135. Now let's see what's inside of the safe. Yeah. In the bag you get this thing. Pause this and read this at your leisure. A sticker celebrating 50 years. Congrats, guys. A wire to keep things secure. TSA approved lock and keys. An Allen key for your safe combination adjustments. And the owner's manual. Let's get into this real quick, shall we? If you want to pause this, you can and just read it by yourself. Up to you. I'll zoom in so you can get a good look at it right now. Okay, moving on. Pretty simple as far as the controls go and adjustments, which is good. You don't want it to be complicated to set up your combination. I'll be showing you how to do it in the video, so there's no need really to read this, but just so you know, if you do want to get all of the details, like I know some of you want, it's all in here, but very straightforward design, very easy to read and understand instructions, and it does provide the tool that you need to make your adjustment. Now let's make some adjustments. We have our combination of 1, 3, 5, so just do a standard piano chord, and it'll be opened up for you. You can see here we have some pegs. I'm going to get you guys a better view of this so we can make our adjustments. Here we have a column for each button of the safe. So you can see as I press down here, it's doing things inside. The top, as you can see, there's a little picture of an opened padlock. And then down here, these are the closed padlock pictures. So even if you can't read, you should be able to figure this out. All you'll need to do to change where you want the buttons to work or not work is simply by taking this out with the Allen key, putting it in the other position, and then that now makes it so that this button doesn't do anything when you press down. Only 3 and 1 will work. Does that make sense? If not, I'll show you how to do it right now. We'll take our Allen key here that's provided in the packaging. We're going to go ahead and let's move this one up as well. So you have to press another button to open the safe. Pull this out. And then there's a hole up here that we're going to thread it into. So in case it was hard to see with my giant hand in the way, we went from down here to up here. Going to tighten it hand tight. Then another 180 degree turn. That should ensure that it works. Let's see if it did. Remember, our combination now is 1, 3, 4, 5. Is everybody ready? Okay. 1, 3, 4, 5. Success. Now let's see if we close it and we try just doing 1, 3, 5 if it'll work. it does not. It's still locked. So we did it. Congratulations us. In Streamlight's literature, it says that this safe is for compact handguns, so smaller handguns will fit in here, and it makes sense that they would start with that in this line because the smaller handguns are probably going to be what you're traveling with if you're doing a TSA approved thing, which this is TSA approved. Traveling, flying with a handgun, you're probably going to want something that's smaller, that has a lower capacity, maybe a revolver, maybe a smaller handgun, because depending on what state you go to, your travel gun needs to be able to adhere to all the bullcrap laws in those states, unfortunately. And that's why it makes sense if they're doing something like this type of safe to have it fit the smaller ones first. And I believe that they're going to be making larger versions of this safe as well, so stay tuned for that. However, I did try something just out of curiosity, and it actually works. So I'm going to show you what I have in this safe right now. That's right, my optics ready M2.0 full-size M&P handgun with a light, a TLR-1HL by the way, and a Holosun 507 CX2, all fits inside of this compartment, which is pretty wild. Now, it is a tight fit. I have to position it just right to make sure it fits, but it fits. So if you guys are wondering what handguns will fit in this safe, pretty much anything that's compact, probably with a light, and probably with an optic. You've got quite a bit of room in here for the compact version of this safe. I can't wait to see how much more room you'll have when they come out with the other models. Can it fit with my Bravo Concealment Torsion 3.0 holster as well? Let's try it. Yes! So you're not an M&P guy. No problem, I got you. There's a full-size Glock 17, also fits. You're welcome. But what about a Glock 17 with a light? Yes. But what about a Glock 17 with a light and an optic? Probably. So far we've gone over what comes in the box, also showed you what you could potentially fit inside this safe, and went over how to set up your combination out of 31 potential combinations. Now let's get into some of the other features of this safe. So far I'm seeing this safe as a really great way to keep items secure while traveling, but let's talk about some options to secure this to, let's say, a flat surface if you are remaining stationary or wanting to keep this safe in one place. So I'm not quite sure what they're thinking here when it comes to fastening this to a flat surface. Here's what they've come up with. I don't think it's the best idea, but this is what you have available to you if you get this safe. On the inside, when you open it, on this corner and this corner, there are two little holes. So one hole here, one hole here. You can see it on the back end as well. That's supposed to allow you to fasten this to a flat surface, and you would, just as I would think, well, all they'd have to do is just grab it from the other end, especially since they have this nice handle and they could just rip it up out of anything. So really all that's doing is keeping it from sliding around in the back of a vehicle maybe, or inside of a drawer or something if you're trying to fasten this to a nightstand or whatever. Not great, obviously, but technically I guess you have holes in your handle as well. So lying this flat, you could have 3 more points of contact on the other end. The problem with that I see is this does this. So this handle will move freely, meaning it doesn't lock out at the flat position. So if someone wanted to just pick it up a slight bit, they could get something underneath it, a pry bar or just their own hand, and still bend this and rip it out. The issue that you have with a plastic safe like this is that you're not reliant on whatever you're fastening into because your case is metal. So you could have, let's say you put this in the floor of a vehicle. You fasten it into the floor of a vehicle and the safe itself is also metal. That's going to be a lot harder to defeat than if you have this being plastic and the surface that you're adhering it to is metal or wood or whatever. It doesn't matter what you're adhering it to because all you need to defeat is the plastic. You just rip this up hard enough, and even if those screws stay in the metal that they're fastened into, you just break the plastic around it and you rip it off. So with that in mind, I would much rather see them extend this a little bit further so that you can have screw holes on the inside without ruining your water seal and not have to rely on this hinging point to secure the other end of the safe. But that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Now, one point of redemption might be this cable right here. This cable is, let's show you the size for reference here. So here's my head, it's about that size. This has 2 loops on either end, so you could run this through either the metal leg of a car seat or something else that isn't gonna move very easily. Loop this through the bar of the padlock, click the whole padlock through the hole right here. You can probably see it better on this side. And then you have an additional layer of security for your safe. Now keep in mind, there are still ways to defeat this. If someone wants to just take the whole safe with them, wire cutters, now they take the whole thing with them. Pick the padlock, now they take the whole thing with them. Cut the bar of the padlock, another method without having to pick the lock. And of course they could just pull really, really hard and maybe break the plastic around this, but it is pretty chunky plastic over here, so that might take some time too. Either way, all these things are just barriers and things that suck time away from the short amount of time that thieves want to take to remove something from your vehicle. So if this slows them down, great. It's an additional attachment method other than fastening it with screws. So I like that this is included and that you not only have the TSA approved lock just for TSA stuff, but also for maybe fastening this to a vehicle. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about use case, because I think that's probably one of the most important things when talking about different gear and different things that you guys are thinking about purchasing with your hard-earned money is going to be how you would use this. Now, your answer might be different than mine. Put your answer in the comment section below, but for me, I think this is the best at being a travel safe. One, because there's no electronics, so you don't have to worry about batteries. 2, because besides the TSA approved lock, and this being a TSA approved item, so you can travel with this, it's allowed, you also have the additional mechanical mechanism that allows you to have an additional layer of security. So if you have a sticky fingered baggage handler that wants to try to get into this, even if they pick the lock of the TSA approved padlock, even if they just so happen to have an extra key that's a TSA approved key that you can just buy anywhere, they still can't get into this unless they try upwards of 31 times to get into this with the amount of combinations that could potentially be these 5 buttons. So that's pretty cool, especially for a travel safe. And then once you get to your destination, you also don't have to worry about someone getting into it because they have to know the combination, right? And you could even still keep that padlock on there as well if you want that additional security. And you have the attachment method. So if you want to use the cable to attach it to something in your hotel room, you can. So all of those equate to this being a really good travel safe. And I'll talk about a little bit of why I think this could be potentially good for other kinds of safes as well. The thing that is going to differentiate this from a lot of other safes out there is that it does not require batteries. The reason I say that and the reason that's important is any of the other safes that require batteries, they all have some type of keyhole that's hidden somewhere, but it's not usually hidden very well, and a key that comes with it, because if your batteries do die while you have something in here, you still need to be able to recover the items in the safe, so they always have a keyhole somewhere. So all a thief would have to do is find the hidden keyhole that's not hidden that well, pick the lock, and then they could get in. It doesn't matter what fancy system you have here for your combination. It doesn't matter if it's biometric and only you can get in because there's a keyhole somewhere that they can just find, use, and unlock. With this, however, there is no keyhole because the only way you can get in, being mechanical, is through pushing the right buttons, and you could potentially have to do 31 tries before you get it right. The downside to that, I guess, is that if you forget your combination, you're kind of screwed because there's no way of popping this open without having the combination right. And there's no keyhole that will unlock this if you don't have it right either. There's no way, obviously, you've seen the inside of this, there's no way that you can press a thing and reset the whole thing. You'd have to unscrew from the inside those pegs, put them in different places to change the combination. So I guess in terms of pros and cons, that could potentially be a pro or a con, but It's simple enough that with these amount of buttons and also the muscle memory of where you're placing your fingers in your hand, you should be able to remember this combination. It shouldn't be that hard. Now comes probably the most controversial part of this video, and that is the price. Before I get into the reasons why I think it's good or bad, or too high or too low, let's talk about the price itself. Looking at this online, it's anywhere from $165 to $75. Now, I don't know really anywhere in that price range if it makes sense to buy this for any of those prices. And it comes down to the simple fact that this is made of plastic. Now, Pelican cases are much more expensive and they're just made of plastic, but they're only really meant to be a case. Yes, you can put padlocks on them, but for the most part, they're really just meant to be a really good heavy-duty case. I hold this to a higher standard because it is also supposed to be a safe. The fact that this is plastic makes me think that I would want to pay less for this just because all of the really awesome things about this safe could potentially be defeated by the fact that this is made of plastic. If this was metal construction, I would 100% say 75 bucks, take my money. But the fact that it's plastic, I don't know that I can necessarily say that. Okay, I think we talked about this enough. So let's wrap things up with my final thoughts, initial thoughts on this product. I would say, as far as the design goes, genius design. Love the fact that there's no batteries required. Very simple design, very easy to use, easy to remember combinations, and gives you the ability to do a lot of really cool travel stuff and still keep prying hands out of the safe. That I love about it. The only thing, again, I'm not a huge fan of is the price because of the material that this is made of. If this was metal, 80 bucks, 75 bucks all day. Plastic, I don't know. That's going to be up to you. But if you do decide that you want to pick this up, you can go to my link in the description or in the pinned comment. Linktree, again, takes you to all the websites. Primary Arms, they're one of the websites that I work with that carries Streamlight products. Streamlight does not have any direct link to purchase products because they go through distributors. So if you do want to help out the channel and buy this at the same time, if you do decide it makes sense for you to buy it, if you use my link, doesn't cost you any extra. There's probably going to be some deals on Primary Arms website and those other websites, and it helps out the channel at the same time. So again, really appreciate you guys. You guys have been super supportive in using my links and liking the videos and subscribing. So you guys are awesome. I can't thank you enough. And I'd also like to thank Streamlight for sending me this for my honest feedback and review. Hopefully they'll listen to some of the critiques that I made and make some improvements in further iterations. I'd also like to see just kind of like a free advice section, I guess, of the video that I'm just doing right now. I'd also like to see different sizes of this for long gun cases. I think a Pelican style case with this combination tech in it would be super rad with some wheels on the other end. That would be dope. So if you guys are listening, Streamlight, I would like that as well and would love to test that out. Thanks again for providing this for review, and thank you guys for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing, liking, using the links, being super supportive. You guys you're the best. You're the best audience I could ever hope for. You're the best viewers, best subscribers. So continue being awesome, and as always, thanks for watching. Stay free, and God bless. You up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.